Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to show you some of the books that are in the piles next to me in all of my videos. This isn't actually all of them, there are still a few more over where they normally are over there, and I'm not going to show you all of them because there are so many it would take me forever to sort through them and get them in some kind of neat order to talk about them. So I may show you the other ones that aren't in this video at some point, but for now all I've done is I've kind of separated most of them into piles according to genre or series or something like that. So I'm gonna get going because there are a lot of them. This is my book buying problem, and I know a lot of you guys will have the same problem, but actually sorting through this and getting this video ready to film, I realised how many books I have, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I'm going to get going. So the first pile of books in front of me that I'm going to get over and done with are my collection of the House of Night books by PC and Christine Cast. This is the first 8 books in the series. I think it's a 12 or 13 book series, but these are the first 8. So the first book is Marked, the second book is Betrayed, and then we have Chosen, Untamed, Hunted, Tempted, Burned and Awakened. So yeah, I've heard good things about it. I've heard mixed things, because I've heard that it's kind of a slightly less exciting version of Vampire Academy. So, and I'm not the biggest fan of vampire fiction, but I was curious, so I'm picking these up as I see them for cheap in charity shops. So maybe when I feel like it, I will pick the series up. Another little pile I have here are 4 books by celebrities that I admire. So I have Mindy Kaling's Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me, Tina Fey's Bossy Pants, Amy Poehler, Yes Please, and Lena Dunham's Not That Kind of Girl. I only really buy books by celebrities if I like the celebrity, or I am interested in reading more about them and things like that. So I do find all 4 of these women very funny, so that's why I have their books. Moving on to my right, I have a selection of my horror / thriller books. So the first one there is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. That's about a girl who is a cam girl, but she has locked herself away in a flat because she has a tendency to murder people. So she's doing it for the safety of society, and to get money she is a cam girl on the internet. So yeah, I've heard really good things. It's a series, I think it's a trilogy, but I only have the first book, so if I read that and like it, then I might pick up the rest of it. Then I have The Asylum by Johan Theorin, The Summoning by Kelly Armstrong, The Deep by Nick Cutter, Apartment 16 by Adam Neville, The Dead Zone by Stephen King, A Dark Matter by Peter Straub, Half Sick of Shadows by David Logan, The Ghost Hunters by Neil Spring, that's it. The Poison Artist by Jonathan Moore, It by Stephen King, The Farm by Tom Rob Smith, The Birthing House and The Orphan, both by Christopher Ransom, Tales of the Dead of Night, and that's a collection of short stories that I'm planning to read this Halloween, Just After Sunset by Stephen King, Different Seasons by Stephen King, and an arc of a recent release by Dean Koontz called Ashley Bell, which I haven't read yet, but I am quite excited to read. So I actually won that arc on Goodreads giveaway quite a while ago now, so yeah, but I just haven't got around to reading it, so but I will, because it does look pretty good. So yeah, moving on, these are all books that have a kind of historical / steampunk kind of slant to them. So I have The Princess Bride by William Goldman, which is a story that I'm not familiar with because I haven't seen the film, although I know the film is really, really popular, so I will get around to reading that at some point. Changeless by Gail Carriger. I also do have Soulless, but that's in the pile over there because I haven't got it out yet. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I know that's pretty well acclaimed. Corsets and Clockwork. That's a collection of short steampunk stories. The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. That's the sequel. I think it's a sequel to Shadow of the Wind. A Great and Terrible Beauty, Rebel Angels, and Sweet Far Thing by Libba Bray. That is a historical fantasy trilogy by her, I think. It's called the Gemma Doyle trilogy, so yeah. The next one, which you can't really see the text of, but that is A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGuinness, and I got that in last year's October Owl Crate, I think, and that's a historical fiction about an insane asylum. Sounds really, really good. So yeah. And the last one there is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon, which is of course a time travel involving Hitler and World War II. So that is that one. The next pile is books for children. So I have I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. I've heard that's a real childhood classic that I've never really read. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. And then I have the His Dark Material trilogy, which shamefully I've never read, but apparently it's really, really good. So, and I got that whole trilogy for £3 when I found the whole thing at once in a charity shop, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, I must have it. And then I have all 13 of A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. And I really want to reread these before the Netflix TV series comes out. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for that, and I'm really excited to read those as an adult. So yep, moving on, I have a pile of dystopian books here. So I have Delirium, Pandemonium and Requiem by Lauren Oliver, 13 by Tom Hoyle, The 100 and The 100 Day 21 by Cass Morgan, The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. Heard amazing things about that one. And then I have the first 5 books in the Gone series by Michael Grant. Gone, Hunger, Lies, Plague and Fear. The last one is called Light, so I need to find that. And then I have the Maze Runner series by James Dashner. I don't know if you can see the titles in that because the lighting is terrible. But the first one is the pre-order, not the pre-order, the prequel. That's what I'm saying. The prequel, The Kill Order, and then you have the Maze Runner, the Scorched Trials, and the Death Cure. And then at the bottom you have the, I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's called the, I'm gonna call it the Wall trilogy by Hugh Howey. Wall, Shift, and Dust. But I've heard really good things about that. That's an adult dystopian series, so which I don't think I've read that much of. So I'm quite excited to see what that's about. Moving on to the biggest pile, this is YA Paranormal. So you have at the top there Daniel Waters' Generation Dead. I think that's the first book in another vampire series. The Oversight by Charlie Fletcher, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, The Wolves of Mercy Falls series by Maggie Stiefvater, Shiver, Linger and Forever, The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa, The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. That's an arc of Lorelei by Laura Dockrill. That's a mermaid book, and I've not really read many mermaid books, so I'm excited to see if I like that one. Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. That's the second book in the Discovery of Witches series, All Souls trilogy, that's what it's called. I do have the first one, so I'm looking for the last one in paperback as well before I start that, because they're huge books, so I would like to read them all at once. Crescendo by Becca Fitzpatrick. That's the second book in the Hush Hush Angel series. And the first 3 books in the Fallen series by Lauren Cates. That's another Angel series. Fallen, Torment and Passion. Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins. Sleepless by Lou Morgan. Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Conversion by Catherine Howe. Wicked and Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire. And then there's also another book by Gregory Maguire which I've not really seen that much around BookTube or anything. It's called Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. So obviously it's Cinderella based, so I'm excited to see what that is. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which I need to read before October because that film's coming out. Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. Alice in Zombieland, Alice Through the Zombie Glass and The Queen of Zombie Hearts, all by Gina Showalter. Obviously that's an Alice in Wonderland retelling with zombies, so that sounds pretty good. And then at the bottom I have a book called Fateful by Claudia Gray, and I think that's another mermaid book. So I have a lot of YA paranormal / fantasy to be getting on with, so yeah, but that probably is the genre that I read the most, so that's probably why I have a lot of it. And you're going to see me in the mirror in a minute. Hi guys! Anyway, moving on, I have a little pile here, and these are adult contemporary / chick litty type books. So at the top we have Daughter by Jane Schimmelt. I've heard really, really good things about that. It's about a woman who realises that her daughter isn't quite what she thought she was. I don't think it's creepy, well, I don't think it's like fantastical or anything like that, but I think her daughter is kind of I don't know if she has like kind of dark problems that she doesn't know about or something like that, but it sounds pretty good, and I put it on my wish list as soon as I heard about it. So, and then I found it for cheap in the charity shop, so that was a pretty good buy. And then I have Michelle Gorman, The Curvy Girls Club, which again sounds pretty cool and relatable and funny. Abby Glines Breathe, that's a kind of, I've heard it's a kind of, I guess it's more new adult than adult actually, about a girl who falls in love with a musician, and obviously that's completely relatable because I do that quite often. Dear Daughter by Elizabeth Little, Slammed and Point of Retreat by Colleen Hoover. And then I have two cat books, a Molly and the Cat Cafe by Melissa Daly and A Cat Called Alfie by Rachel Wells. I got them both for my last birthday actually, because people know I love cats and books, so that's a pretty good buy for me. The Woman Who Went to Bed for a Year by Sue Townsend, Where'd You Go Bernadette by Maria Semple, Memoirs of an Imaginary Friend by Matthew Green, You're the One That I Want, Giovanna Fletcher, The Art of Baking Blind by Sarah Vaughan, and Be Careful What You Wish For by Alexandra Potter. I don't really read a lot of adult contemporary, but if I find one that sounds pretty good, I will pick it up because I do like reading that kind of thing occasionally. So yeah, moving on, I have a pile here of YA contemporary. So we have at the top Tell Me Again How a Crush Should Feel by Sarah Farizan. That's a book about I think I've mentioned it before. I think I mentioned it in my recommended romance recommendations back in February for Valentine's. It's about a Muslim lesbian in high school, so that sounds pretty good and pretty unique actually when it comes to YA contemporary. So yeah, The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer L. Smith, Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry, Speak by Laurie House Anderson, heard amazing things about that too. The Year of the Rat by Claire Furness, Switched by Amanda Hocking, The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson, that's about a transgender teen, so that's pretty unique too. High Society by Ali Carter, I don't really know if that belongs in the contemporary pile, but I didn't really have anywhere else to put it because it's about a group of teenage female spies, so, and I don't really have many other spy books, so I just thought I'd put it in here. Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan, Tease by Amanda Maciel, A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki, Sophie's World by Justine Garda, which kind of is fantasy-ish, but I decided to put it in here for some reason. Rumble and Crank, both by Ellen Hopkins, Severed Heads and Broken Hearts by Robin Schneider. I think that is called something else in America, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called The End of Everything or something, or The Beginning of Everything or something like that, but it is the same book, I'm told, so yeah. Stolen by Lucy Christopher, Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, that's it, by Benjamin Alire Sáenz, Bunheads by Sophie Flack, which is about ballet, and I've not really read many books about ballet, so that sounds pretty interesting. Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, I Was Here by Gail Foreman, When We Collided by Emery Lord, The Serpent King by Jonathan Zentner. I'm going to get a little bit closer to the bottom. Geektastic, Stories from the Nerd Herd. That's a collection of contemporary stories, obviously from the points of view of high school geeks, so that sounds pretty cool and funny. Memories of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin, Black Rabbit Summer by Kevin Brooks, You Against Me by Jenny Downham, and 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. So that's quite a selection of YA contemporary that I have there, but yeah, it's another genre that I read a lot of, so it's probably why I have a load of it. So yeah, moving on, I have a little pile of Discworld novels here by Terry Pratchett. I don't have all of them, and these are not the first however many there are. I think there are 15 of them here. I think I have the first 6, so I think the first 6 in the series are The Colour of Magic, The Light Fantastic, Equal Rights, Mort, Sorcery and Weird Sisters, and Pyramids is possibly the 7th one, but then I think the others are later on in the series. So I also have, after Pyramids, I have Reaper Man, Lords and Ladies, Masquerade, Hogfather, Jingo, The Last Continent and The Fifth Elephant. So yeah, but this is like a sort of over 40 book series, so but I am wanting to collect them all in these cute little paperbacks because I love them, but then I don't think the later ones were actually published in this edition, which sucks, but because they look so cute, I absolutely love them. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know, apparently you don't have to read them in order, but I kind of like reading them in order anyway, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so I think they look cute, and I can't wait to have more of them. I do just pick them up whenever I see them for cheap. Moving on to the next pile, these are urban fantasy books. So I have 3 supernatural books at the top. I have Heart of the Dragon, The Unholy Cause, and War of the Suns, all by different authors, because all the supernatural books are by different authors. And then we have the first 5 books in the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series by Laurel K. Hamilton, Guilty Pleasures, The Laughing Corpse, Circus of the Damned, The Lunatic Cafe, and Bloody Bones. Then there's a book called Minion by L.A. Banks. I think that's another vampire-esque story, but I'm not entirely sure. And then we have Stolen and Bitten by Kelly Armstrong. They're the first 2 books in her werewolf series. Rogue and Alpha by Rachel Vincent. They are the second and either 5th or 6th books, I think, in her Werecat series, which sounds right up my street, and I'm so excited to get the first one called Stray and pick that up, because Werecats sound pretty badass and awesome to me. So yeah. And then at the bottom I have Anne Bishop's Written in, I think it's called the Written in Red trilogy. It might have another name, but I don't know what that is. Written in Red, Murder of Crows, and Vision in Silver. And I think that's a complete series. I don't know if there's going to be any more of that, but if there is, then I will pick them up. Then we have a little pile of fantasy books. So I have a really old version of Sabriel by Garth Nix, and that's the first in one of his fantasy series. Then we have an American mass market paperback of Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, a copy of The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Wizard Heir and the Dragon Heir by Cinda Williams Chimer, Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane, and The Ghosts of Heaven by Marcus Sedgwick. So they are a selection of the books that are normally in the piles next to me in all of my videos, but as you can see there are still more over there. I have a really bad book buying problem, but the thing is I am planning on kind of getting rid of them once I've read them, but there's just so many of them that it's going to take me forever to actually read them all. So yeah, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll be satisfied with not actually seeing all of them, because it just takes me forever to sort through them and film them, and you know, I do only have weekends now to film videos. So anyway, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Obviously all my social media will be at the bottom of my video, as it always is, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.